Hello everyone, and welcome back to Voxel Tales. Hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year's if you celebrate. I spent a week writing and then GMing a Christmas-themed adventure using the Goblin Slayer tabletop RPG rulebook. I spent the other week working on behind-the-scenes VT stuff. Because what even is relaxing? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Anyway, we finished off last year by making a seed processor in order to make seed oil to use as an ingredient in the making of biofuel. And as the holidays wore on, we managed to totally fill up both of our seed oil storage tanks. So I should probably get my act together and get the next bit of the machine made, eh? The next stage of production involves mixing seed oil with plant matter over a heated blaze burner to produce biomatter. We can get the burners and seed oil feeding basins easy enough with some straws and a bit of creative pipe wrangling. Providing the pipes actually play ball, obviously. There we go. Then we just have to run a pipe underground and tap one of the lava delivery pipes. Now you might be wondering why I didn't fuel the blaze burners from below. Well, it's pretty simple actually. It's because there's this massive biofuel storage tank I built underneath it. Yeah, the snow was hiding it, but I suppose the cat's out of the bag now. Just something else I did when I was supposed to be relaxing. Anyway, with this pipe in, I should be able to just hook up a pump and be good to go. Like that. Or not. Guess we need a little more oomph. Probably just needs another pump to get it over the hump. So, what if we give it one of these? Now we're cooking with lava. Right, now if I just get the pump up here connected, and the mixers obviously, they're kind of key to the whole thing. Nice. I'll even grab some andesite casings and guss him up a bit, cause presentation costs nothing. Right, once we've mixed the biomatter, we need to get it out of the basin, so I'll put a belt in here for that. And we can get power to it from over here. Better something like that. Yeah, belt is go. And it's going the right way. Go team me! Right, it's dark, so we'll call it a day for today, and in the morning we'll get the rest built. Hello, Desanimo. I'm back, just in time for bed. Nothing like a refreshing night's sleep. Right, back to the job site. Good morning, world. I'm ready to... Really? Special delivery, Dan. It's a creeper to the face. Now I've got to waste half the morning fixing my shed. Right, let's try this again. Next up, we're going to add some chutes and belts to feed plant matter into the mixers. And those belts are going to need to be powered. Not that way. That way. Perfect. Then I suppose I'll need a bunch of tunnels to split the stuff up. Oh, and by a bunch, I definitely mean more than one. So we better make a few more, hadn't we? And I don't have enough dry kelp in storage. But I do have fresh kelp. To the bulk smelter! We'll just set you to only let dried kelp past. Bosh this stack in here, and it shouldn't take very long at all. And it's done. And it's gone. Okay, why is it gone? Now in the VT world, it's just glitched, so let me reset for a second. Okay, so I checked it out, and it turns out this thing isn't a bulk smelter, it's a bulk blaster. And to do anything relating to food, including kelp, we need a bulk smoker, and I don't have one of those. Nor do I particularly feel like making one right now, so I'm going to go shove some kelp in the furnaces in the shed basement. I even managed to engage my brain while I was there and made a smoker to make the drying go faster. And before long I was back at the factory making brass tunnels for the delivery system. So what I'm doing here is figuring out how to take a single input of items and evenly split them up into 3 outputs that are all 1 block apart. If this sounds inefficient and needlessly complicated, that's probably because it is. Frankly, if you're watching Voxel Tales expecting efficiency, you've probably tuned into the wrong channel. Sorry. However, I can say that everything I've built in this series has been figured out by me and not copied from somebody else. And I think there's some merit to that. At least that's what I tell myself. Next, I temporarily removed the top shoots to test the distribution. And to stop plants from coming out of these 2 tunnels, I set them to expect shafts that would never come. And look at that, it works! And with that, we're successfully spitting out biomass. Which was a practically done build in this machine, because making the biomass was easily the most complicated part. See? Other than that, we just have to add sugar and cinder flour in a mixer. Doesn't even need heating. So really, all we need to do is set up a basin and a mixer here with a couple of extra belts feeding into it. So that's what I did. Set up a basin and started adding some shafts for belts. Simple. All nice and simple. And about here, I started overthinking things and made a smart fluid pipe. Somehow got it in my head that I needed to separate biofuel from seed oil. Had a hell of a time getting it to connect to the basin at the right angle as well. Thing is, never even needed it. Eventually realised that the basin was only ever going to have biofuel in it and I didn't even need a smart pipe at all. Like I said before, if you're watching for efficiency, wrong place. Anyway, the next morning I got the belts powered up and installed a couple of chutes. And over here I pre-prepared a little cinder flour and sugar. I did mention last episode that I might make a sugar farm to feed the machine. And then I realised I could achieve excellent results from just bone meal and holding my right mouse button for a couple of minutes. And I didn't even need to pay attention while the grinding was happening. So yeah, I'm going to finish loading this drawer with potatoes and we'll connect them to the machine. And you know, it might help if I install a mixer here, what do we reckon? There, see? Now we're mixing up biofuel. So now I just got to get it pumped out of the basin and into the tank. Like so. Looks good up here. And we appear to be filling. Excellent. Okay, so I stood around watching the tank fill for a while, and as thrilling as that was, I wanted to get out of the village for a bit. So I grabbed the old Nature's Compass and asked it to find me a deep dark biome, cause I'd never been to one. And as you can see from the coordinate readout on the left there, I'm on my way to one right now. And now I should be directly above one. And while I could carefully make my way down, I'm more partial to the express route. Ooh, cave. Hey! No. Also no. Much digging later, my mini-map informed me that I was in the deep dark. And yeah, it was in fact both deep and dark. I thought there were supposed to be cities down here. I didn't manage to track down an ancient city, but I did find a bunch of viridite. And a skulk-filled echo geode, containing a budding echo block, which I subsequently yoinked, and flew back to Podnik to add to my ever-growing collection of budding crystal blocks. Boosh, unlimited supply of echo shards, which I'm sure will come in handy for something somewhere down the line. Still kind of want to go find an ancient city though. But before we do that, I want to address something a little behind the scenes and non-canon. Meet me in the creative world. So, here we are in a creative copy of the world, and behind me is a bunch of villagers. As you can see, we've got all the standard ones that come pre-installed with the vanilla game. Then we've got the guys from Beach Party. We got this forager guy from Oh the Biomes You'll Go. These two are from the Chef's Delight add-on to Farmer's Delight. That's the Happiness is a Warm Gun guy. This one is from Modern Industrialization. These guys are all from More Villagers. That guy is from AE2. This Wizard Merchant is from the Wizards mod, but you get him using a crafting altar from Runes. Vinery Winemaker. These guys are all from Villagers Plus. And all this lot that are standing on these little player head blocks are from the Mini Block Merchants mod. And there's a ton of these guys, there's like 25 if I remember. Anyway, the point is that there's a load of potential villagers available, and right now they're in their vanilla, big nose, crossed arm, Squidward looking form. And in the VT world they don't normally look like that, because I use a resource pack to make them look human like the player. You'll also remember that there haven't been any villagers in Podnick for quite a while, and I've used a bunch of in-universe reasons, excuses really, for why that's the case. Stuff like it's dangerous because of all the monsters and what have you. Which is somewhat true, as for the most part all the villagers did die over time. But there's a different reason besides that I haven't brought them back yet. And it's all down to their skins. Specifically the difference between a player skin and a villager skin. Let me reload the world with the resource pack enabled and I'll show you what I mean. I've been using this player villagers pack by 6 Foot Blue since the show started. Okay, so now we're reloaded with the resource pack active. And believe me, that took way longer for me than it just did for you. Oh good, we've got loading errors. Yeah, try to ignore the holes in the world. My computer doesn't seem to like me having all these villagers here. Anyway, not important. The point is that the resource pack comes with player skins to go with the player models that it replaces the stock villagers with. However, as you can see, all the other villager types have completely messed up skins because the game is trying to load the villager skins onto a player model. If you happen to have watched episode 1, you'll have seen that I ran into a half-naked guy. Well, this is why. So yeah, this is the big reason that I've been putting off bringing villagers back to the village. Thought it might ruin the ambience somewhat if 80% of the villagers were walking around in their underwear. We're not that kind of channel. But that all changes today, because during my break I decided it was high time I fixed this little issue. So without further ado, there they are, look. I've gone through and added support for all the mods to the resource pack. And there goes the world again. All I've done is take the existing villager skins and cut them up to fit the player model, and then add them into the resource pack with the appropriate file structure. I did my best to alter the skins as little as possible though. Like I say, it's more of a cut up and reposition than a redo. Okay, that's it I suppose. Thanks for indulging me. I just wanted to show them off, and there was no way I could do that from an in-universe perspective. Right, let's get back to the main world. Unsatisfied with the example of the deep dark we'd already found, I told the Explorer's Compass this time to find me an ancient city and set off. Naturally, I left about 2 minutes before it got dark and it was night by the time I arrived. Not that it particularly mattered, because we were going to be underground anyway. Well, here we are. Not sure what this stuff is for, but it's pretty, so we'll have some. And I know these can transmit wireless signals, so that's always useful. Oh, somebody's upset. Ah, here he is, the Warden! Wondered how long it would take for you to show up. Well, you lasted longer than the Wither, I think. Oh, really? You want another go? Honestly though, aside from the Wardens and some very basic loot, this ancient city didn't seem to have a lot going for it. So after killing the Warden again, and again, And again. I decided to call it on this little excursion and head back to Podnik. I don't recognise you. What are you? Thorium, eh? Well, we never say no to new ores. We'll do a bit of silk touch in case we get a better deal after crushing you. And you're just rubies. Right, home. Alright guys, we're back, and while we were away, we seem to have gotten pretty close to filling the first layer of our new biofuel tank. Oh yeah, I set up one of these Kybe chunk loaders to keep the machine running while we were away, or else we'd have no chance of filling the tank. Unfortunately, we've nearly gone through all the seed oil we had stockpiled, so progress is going to slow down soon anyway. Not that this was ever going to be a quick process, it's one of those long-term projects that's done when it's done. So I guess for now, we put all this stuff away and look for something else to do. For instance, we could look a bit more into that thorium stuff we found. Interesting. So we're guaranteed 2 from breaking it, but we could get more with fortune. Unfortunately, our Paxel doesn't have fortune, but we might have a book. Oh yeah, my old dragon pickaxe has it. So first let's bust open the ore and get our hands on some thorium. Four, not bad. But what can we do with you? Can crush it up to make radioactive thorium. Voxel tails and radioactive materials. That sounds risky. But we do get experience nuggets from it, which is never a bad thing. Or we can mix it with water, stone, and clay, and we get 2 back. Wait, we can make stone and clay from cobblestone. So that means we can make an unlimited supply of thorium from a single piece. I think I know what we're going to do for the rest of this episode. So I cleared some snow. Yeah, reckon that'll do us. Right, let's start with an infinite water source for our basin. Something like that. We'll need a basin, obviously. And then we'll have a pump. And a pipe into the basin. And this here lantern should keep the water from freezing. And we'll need to get power over here as well. Of course the copycat border's in the way. No matter, we'll just go 1 block over. Might as well bang the mixer in here. Except we need to extract stuff out of the basin, so it'll need to be 1 block higher. Like that. And we'll need this belt taking out the thorium. Speaking of, we'll get that set to thorium. Tunnel here, so one of the 2 thoriums gets fed back into the basin. Along with a little belt wrangling to get that accomplished. I'm thinking we might feed the other piece straight into some crushing wheels, so we'll need to power those as well. And I'm being a dummy-dum with this whole setup, because I can just pump water straight into the basin from below. Like that. So I'm thinking we do a cobblestone generator feeding into a couple of millstones to get us sand. Okay, so obviously what I meant to say was cobblestone generator into a chute into a millstone. There we go, so that one will make us gravel. And then hopefully that one will make us sand. Yes? No? Maybe? Suppose we'll find out, won't we? Okay, so we're graveling. But that ain't working. And now it's working, but it's making flint. Good. Because that's all the mill does. You need to crush gravel to make sand. There, that's more like it. Stick a chute above that and we'll be crushing up gravel. Beautiful. Next we're going to put a lava bucket here, with a smart chute above it to funnel away any flint we end up with. Meanwhile, the sand will come along this belt. and into the path of this washing station to be turned into clay balls. And this here funnel will make sure they have time to convert. We'll send the clay balls into this mechanical crafter array to be turned into clay blocks, and send the blocks back to the basin on this belt. Just make sure these are all linked together so they all get the same input. And there we go. Once I get power to this crafter, it'll start spitting out clay blocks. One sec, just gotta stop this thing from blowing me all over the place. Better. Right, let me faff about with some gearboxes and get all this powered on. And you know, thinking on, it's probably best to store the thorium in a less radioactive state until we actually need it. Wouldn't want any unhappy little accidents. There, that should be up and running. Nice. Okay, let me extend our platform a little bit, so I can add this little blaster to convert cobblestone into stone. Compared to the other bit, this end is very simple. Cobblestone generator drops cobble in front of the blaster, funnel stops it from moving on before it converts, and passes through the chest into the basin on the other side. Like I said, simple. Now I just need to get the water pumped in from below and a mixer connected. Well, that was easy. Where's the Staples easy button when you need it? One mixer hookup later and... bosh! We have an infinite thorium making machine. Do we need an infinite thorium supply? Damned if I know, but we've got one now. So, yay. Well guys, that's going to do us for the first episode of the new year. You'll have to let me know if you liked the more as I figured it out build style, or if you prefer when I just make stuff and then go through it afterwards. For now though, thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed the show, then help the channel out by subscribing and leaving us a cheeky like and a comment below. I've been Dan, this has been Voxel Tales, and until next time remember, be good, and if you can't be good, don't get caught. Bye guys.